Hey folks, this is Ira. Hope you're doing great. Thank you very much for tuning in as we provide you with the earthquake report for February the 15th. It is now 6:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we begin our trek looking at Oklahoma, where today in Perry they experienced a 3.1, as well as some minor quakes in or around Fairview. And so nothing out of the ordinary there. They just continue to experience all the fun. If we glance over to the West Coast, looking at California, we experienced a 3.5, some are saying a 3.8 in around the Mammoth Lakes area. Now, what is especially interesting about this is that normally when we see seismic activity moving in around the dormant volcanoes, it can only mean one thing, the buildup of pressure, basically. It's kind of interesting. Back in 1980, this area faced three powerful back-to-back earthquakes, with one registering as a 6.2, the other registering the other two registering as 5.9s. There was considerable property damage due to landslides and rock falls and all that stuff. So pretty crazy. Now, if we head down to Ecuador, we actually experienced an earthquake down there today, fairly powerful as well. We're looking at a 4.8, very interesting indeed. And if we take a look over here at New Zealand, that seems to be the talk of the town, actually. They experienced a 6.2 earthquake. Now, just an interesting fact about this is that this makes the fourth, fairly powerful and significant earthquake in this area within the past 2 weeks. Now, if history repeats itself, and we know that it does, one should then focus their attention on Japan, because we saw a similar pattern to this back in 2011 that led up to the mega 9.0 earthquake, right? So definitely have to keep our eyes open there. Anyways, let's skip over and check out the latest quakes. We saw the 4.8 in Ecuador, looking at the earthquake in Oklahoma as well, and several minor earthquakes in Alaska. Nothing too unusual there. We did see a 5.3 in Greece, and everyone was saying that it was pretty powerful. And we'll actually review the comments and everything like that in just a moment. And so it actually appears as though we saw two earthquakes in and around Mammoth Lakes today. Very interesting indeed. Let's take a look at the news. Everybody's talking about the earthquakes in and around Mammoth Lakes, and with both of those happening, I wonder what that could mean. I'll have to post down below and let me know your thoughts on that. And looks like the earthquake in Taiwan is not going to affect the iPhone production, so thank goodness for that, right? Okay, stats. Here we go. We are looking at, as of 6:51 p.m., 76 earthquakes this week, with 2,274 for the month so far. Looking at the strongest quake coming out of New Zealand in that area. Closest to me, and that is North Carolina, would be Perry, Oklahoma, with the 3.1. Over the past couple of days, the largest earthquake was the 6.3 that we experienced in Chile. Most significant this year is coming out of India with a 6.7. Must have been a beast. And I think it's very interesting, once again, that we are looking at Fairview. It's listed as being one of the most significant earthquakes of this year. Very, very interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and change gears and let's scope out the globe. Alright folks, here we go. So we're looking at the earthquake, the 4.2 out of Taiwan today, as well as several earthquakes there in and around Alaska, and they're no strangers to activity. It's pretty amazing really how many earthquakes they see every year, in the thousands for sure. And if we take a look at California, you'll see the Mammoth Lakes, 3.8, 3.4, 3.5 according to some, as well as some minor earthquakes registering in about 2.9, 1.9, and all that good stuff. Head over to Oklahoma, looking at the 3.1, and we also have our trusty earthquakes, the 2.8, 2.6 in Fairview, so nothing too crazy there, kind of like what we expected. And if we head down here, we've got Venezuela with a 4.4. We have the Dominican Republic with additional earthquakes as well, and the 4.8 off the coast of Ecuador. Very interesting times. It'll be interesting to see what the next couple of days hold for us. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the comments and everything coming out of Greece. All right, so here we go. It's pretty interesting, really. According to this, we're looking at a 5.1. Scoping out the comments, everyone's saying that for the most part it's pretty strong. Extremely strong. I was in ancient Olympia, parked in the car, and I thought I had a car crash. That's pretty amazing. Now, if we look down even further, cyclic movement with duration, very interesting. 5 to 10 second duration with no significant effects. That sounds fairly accurate. Strong quake, horizontal movement. The walls were moving and seemed like the shape of the room was changing. Really strong. That is very, very interesting. So, if you guys were impacted by any of the quakes that we experienced today, make sure to post down below in the comment section. Love to hear about it. You can head over to our Facebook page where we can continue the conversation about this and other things affecting the globe. And if you like the video, hit like, make sure to subscribe and all that good stuff. And hope you guys have a wonderful night. We'll talk to you soon. Hoorah!